Good afternoon, everybody. That was pretty good work, everybody. A lot of good chanting, a lot of good singing. Very great to hear the bonds that y'all built this week. For all our parents in the room, I know we've got a lot standing up in the back. We do have a little bit of limited seating. I would like to say if you can find a seat, it's yours. I see we've got a couple sprinkled out here and there. Definitely want everybody to be comfortable here this afternoon. I want to thank you all for joining us today for our capital program. It's something that we started a number of years ago to get parents involved in coming and seeing the work that these boys do every single week, last week of June, every single year. You know, they go home, they're going to tell y'all stories. Y'all probably aren't going to understand every single thing that they're talking about. I know whenever I was a citizen, I went home and talked about it for about a month with my parents. They couldn't quite visualize it, right? So we wanted to give the parents an opportunity to come today and see those bonds that the boys made, see the work that they've been doing, and I hope that you leave here better understanding what Boys State is all about. Now, let's kind of pivot a little bit. As you've been in and out of this room today, of course, all y'all citizens have been in and out of here throughout the week, and parents y'all have been in and out of here today. You might have noticed a table here behind me on stage with an empty chair. Now, we've had this chair here all week to pay respect to the soldiers who went missing in action and those that have been taken as prisoners of war. And so we'd like to start this convocation by asking you all to please stand and join me in a moment of silence to honor these individuals one final time this week. Will all, except for members of the American Legion, please be seated. I would like to take this time to recognize and give a round of applause for all of our members of the American Legion here. Thank you all for what you do and what you continue to do. This is your program, and we love every single year coming back to help you put it on to continue this great work. Thank you. Now, we hope you're able to get a glimpse of what these young men have been doing all week. Parents, I'm talking to y'all again. I know that we crammed a lot in this morning. You went through local government, you went through legislature, you went through courts, you heard them chant in the brickyard, and now you've heard them sing their songs that they developed all in a week. It's kind of a lot to do in the 6 days that they've been here. If you couldn't tell, they've been learning by doing and becoming leaders along the way. You noticed today that they didn't just recite things that they heard in the lecture. They worked through these problems all week. They were given challenges, they overcame, they built presentations around it, they learned the court's trial, they learned the case packet, they figured out how to write bills and how to argue in front of others for what they care about. And along with learning by doing, they've also been elected to a number of positions. In fact, we have 7 state officers, officials, ready to take their oath of office and officially begin their terms. Kind of funny here at the last day of the program. So at this time, I'd like to call all of our state officers and the Chief Justice of the Louisiana Boys State Supreme Court to the stage. Chief Justice will officially swear in our state leaders.
Please stand, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of this state, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent on me as stated position, according to the best of my ability and understanding. So help me
Okay, everybody. My fellow citizens and I have done a lot over the past week making sure our cities, parishes, and state can thrive. We feel confident that we have created a government that benefits all. But there's more to leading than just politics. I'm afraid to tell you that our great state is preparing for a natural disaster. Just a few days ago, we received a disturbing report. Take a look. So, a hurricane is making landfall at 7 p.m. this evening. It will make landfall in Mississippi Valley and travel up the state, eventually going straight through Lafourche, through Caddo, which is in Chapelline Parish, hurting Feliciana and Franklin and Kane Parish, and then following through into Pearl as a tropical storm, going through Orleans and Wichita. Now, after speaking with each of the parish presidents, myself and the director of emergency preparedness, a man that we all know as Unc, aka Mr. Cameron Slate, he gave me recommendations, and I believe that these are the best options for the state. So I will go ahead and read them all. So to begin, Hurricane Aidan is approaching the southeastern coast of Louisiana, and the city of Lafourche in Mississippi Parish is going to be the hardest hit city in the state. Lafourche will be impacted by storm surge, torrential rains, and extreme winds that can cause great damage to homes and businesses. The wind, rain, and storm surge can cause great danger to life. Other cities such as Caddo, Franklin, and Feliciana will be affected greatly by the storm as well. And all citizens will, in one way or another, will be asked for assistance returning to normalcy. So Lafourche is issuing plans as follows. These are the plans for Lafourche. Lafourche City will have a mandatory evacuation. All schools in Mississippi Parish will be closed. And I am also declaring a state of emergency for Mississippi Parish. LaSalle, which is also in Mississippi Parish, will be offering aid and evacuation shelters. Ambulances will help with the evacuation of nursing homes, and parking garages will be open on a first-come, first-served basis for parking. Law enforcement will be present on all evacuation routes out of Lafourche to ensure steady flow of traffic, and electric companies will be sent in to assess and restore electrical outages after the storm is passed. The Department of Transportation will commandeer Mississippi Parish school buses to help with the evacuation effort, and the Lafourche nuclear power plant will be shut down in a timely manner. Bogafalaya Parish is issuing plans as follows. Catahoula is disrupting fishing and port activities for 48 hours. Catahoula is asking that all citizens shelter in place and prepare for tropical storm-like conditions. Sandbag stations will be available, and replenish drinking water, gas, and non-perishable food items. Concordia is asking that all citizens shelter in place as well and prepare for tropical storm-like conditions. Replenish drinking water, gas, and non-perishable food items as well. And Bogafalaya Parish is open to evacuees from Lafourche and LaSalle. Mississippi evacuees that are traveling by train will arrive in Catahoula. National Guardsmen and volunteer agencies such as the Cajun Navy are willing to help with the recovery effort. All relief efforts will be paid for using funds out of the parish's economic surplus. Kane is issuing plans as follows. Mandatory evacuation of Feliciana into Franklin and Franklin out of the parish to encourage evacuees to travel to northern areas of the state. Hospitals and schools will be temporary shelters, and the nuclear power plant and telecommunications center at Franklin will be temporarily shut down. Trades will cease temporarily to store food and help the parish's economy. Sandbags will be distributed and plywood will be very accessible to all in the parish. Schools will be canceled until a determined date, and all relief efforts will include assessing damages to major industrial facilities and infrastructure. Atchafalaya will receive help from Sabine and Bothafly parishes, and Kane will receive help from Sabine and Bothafly parishes. Atchafalaya is issuing these specific plans as follows. I am announcing today that Atchafalaya will be in a state of emergency as well, along with Kane. The hospital, airport, and schools will all be closed and used as temporary storm shelters to free up highway travel. If travel is high, it needs to be of steady flow, so there will be buses that are transporting people out of specific parishes. And Canada will brace for a possible breach of the Falaya River, as well as Feliciana. Hopefully, no one's in Feliciana at the time anyway. Atchafalaya is requesting that all citizens board up windows and place sandbags in front of all exits of homes and issue an evacuation order for all residents of Canada. They're requesting relief from the National Guard and the Cajun Navy, and I'm happy to say the National Guard or the state of Louisiana would be happy to assist in any way possible. They also request relief from FEMA, and I have determined that after the storm has passed, if it is required that FEMA shelters are needed, there will be FEMA shelters available. Next, Atchafalaya plans to provide aid to parish citizens in various ways, and that I've left up to the parish president to decide. I'm issuing a mandatory evacuation of all hospital patients, and schools will also be closed for the foreseeable future. We're asking children of the parish to also enroll in northern schools if they are displaced and cannot get back home by the start of the school year. Burl and Sabine parishes are concerned with the following. Both parishes will offer help and relief services for all affected parishes. Both parishes will also open temporary shelters for citizens of affected parishes that have been displaced. Now back on to the situation. If I can direct your attention to this map, you might not be able to see it in the back, but it is a map. Where the hurricane will be making landfall, as I said, is in Mississippi. Mississippi will be the first hit. However, Mississippi Parish currently has a surplus in funds. So the state is willing to give 70% of the damage assessment back to the parish for reimbursement. Atchafalaya, I hate to say it, but cattle will be hurt tremendously. So the state is willing to give Atchafalaya 75% of their damage assessment. As for Kane, who is also getting hit pretty hard, the state will give 73% of the damage assessment to them. 73% is going to Kane because Kane is in a deficit. 75% is going to Atchafalaya because Atchafalaya is also in a deficit. Mississippi can better protect themselves financially, and that being said, we believe that more money should go to Kane and Atchafalaya. Now, as for Pearl and Sabine, both Pearl in particular, Pearl will be getting a tropical storm, which is rain and wind. I am from, in real life, Burlington Parish. I know how hurricanes go, and I know how hurricanes can be. Tropical storms can be rough, but considering that Pearl has no low-lying areas or floodable zones, there is no necessity for as much relief to go to Pearl. If Pearl is determined to have significant damage, the state is willing to relook at those options. At this time, I will now begin accepting questions from members of the press.
Press members, you can come up.
Mr. Governor, how do you plan to maintain stock supplies after the hurricane and maintain affordable prices of these necessary supplies? Yes, sir. How do you plan to maintain stock supplies after the hurricane and maintain affordable prices for these necessary supplies?
So, as we did after Hurricane Katrina. Louisiana always stands out. It doesn't matter if we are damaged or put to the ground by a hurricane, our state will always get back up. And with that being said, each individual parish that is going to be affected, because this is a state issue, all parishes are going to be affected. Some of you might not be damaged, but there will be communication and cooperation required from all parishes to build back from this hurricane. Now, with that being said, supplies, as I said in the emergency preparedness plans, Sabine Parish, Pearl Parish, and both Hawaii Parish have an obligation to help their brothers and their fellow parishes. So I hope as governor, and I demand as governor, that there be cooperation, and that both Hawaii, Pearl, and Sabine come together and help pool resources together. And as I said, if necessary, we will deploy the national, but not if necessary, we are deploying the national guard to help out these parishes. There will be relief. And if Louisiana can't do it alone, then we will get help from other states. But I know for a fact that the problems in Louisiana, as Bill Clinton said about the United States, we saw that in the video last night, the problems in Louisiana can be fixed by the good things in Louisiana. If there is a supply problem, we will fix it. Different parishes will come together to fix it. And that is my answer.
Somewhat similar question to his, but as we know, Louisiana is a large agricultural center and lots of farms and other food producers will be hit. How do you plan to help these farms rebuild and to also keep the food supply chain pumping through as it works?
Well, that's a difficult question because the farmers pump this state. The farmers are why this state keeps moving day by day. Everything that Louisiana does has something to do with the farmers. If the farmers are hit hard, then we will step in and help. If the farmers are hit at all, we will step in and help. We will provide relief to the farmers. And as soon as the damage assessment comes in from the different parishes, we will make a plan to help the agricultural sector. It's very difficult to perform emergency preparedness. I mean, this hurricane is hitting tonight at 7 p.m. I was just elected. I just got to all of these resources yesterday. So our efforts as of right now are evacuating and preparing. But after we do the little bit of preparation that we can do, our main focus will be on rebuilding and recovery.
So how do you plan to get children inside of schools inside of Mississippi back in on time if there's, for some reason, power outage just everywhere?
Okay, so currently we're in the middle of summer. So when schools are ready to open later on in August, if there are still, because as I said, Caddo is getting hit extremely hard. So I sincerely doubt that the school will be able to open in Caddo whenever it comes time for the school. So hopefully, again, as I said in the emergency preparedness plan, hopefully our other parishes will be accepting of these children, accepting of these students. And if necessary, the state will look into funding a virtual education program for those students who are displaced.
Thank you, Mr. Governor. All right, Mr. Governor. So if you observe the path of the hurricane, you will see it directly strikes both of Louisiana's two main nuclear power plants. If these power plants are not shut down immediately, they could cause irreparable damage to our state. What is your plan to shut them down safely and get all of the risk out of the state?
So again, that's a very difficult question because we only have a certain amount of hours to do all this. But I can say with utmost certainty every single nuclear power plant that is even in the radius of the storm in the state of Louisiana will shut down. Especially in Mississippi, Chatelaine, and Paris. Because there's one thing, one of the out of this city. So the main thing that I want to focus on is safety. Public safety is the most important issue in any crisis, especially in a state crisis, a national disaster. We need to focus on safety. So, as I said, we will be closing down the both nuclear power plants. And we're just going to have to ride it out. I mean, in the case that there are outages for extended periods of time, I believe that we can look into some sort of program for generators, get people generators, get people, especially in poverty areas, get those folks generators so that way they can get their lights on and they can return back to normalcy as quick as possible.
Mr. Governor, I think I have a question about future hurricanes. Do you have a plan to improve the infrastructure and resilience against hurricanes of the homes who will get destroyed?
Yes, so one of the main issues in the state of Louisiana is insurance. Insurance is very expensive. Very expensive. And the older that I've gotten, and the longer that I've lived in the state, which is my whole life, they just keep getting more and more expensive. But from what I'm hearing is that fortified roofs, if they come into the state, are going to lower some of those insurance premiums. So to prepare for future hurricanes, I believe there will be a system of grants that I'd like to put into place to help people get those fortified roofs so that way they can get their insurance premiums to go down, as well as ensure that nuclear power plants, especially because I helped write the bill in Kane Parish, specifically Feliciana, regarding our telecommunications. What we wanted to do was we wanted to take the money that we had in public works and utilities and put that in the money to reinforce those communications towers. But it's too late. So what we're going to do is any communications tower, any industry that needs infrastructure upgrades, we will put up grants. We will find the grants. We will find the money to ensure that those industries can stay afloat after a hurricane, because there will be another one. It's not a question of if, but of when.
And one quick evergreen question for you, Mr. Governor.
Mr. Governor, while I can sit here and talk about property and physical damages, we have to acknowledge that there's going to be a lot of emotional damage in this time, as very precious physical property and many lives of your fellow Louisianians are going to be lost. And you spoke much in your campaign about unity and togetherness. So how are you going to maintain unity and togetherness in this time of such great despair?
Well, we live in a state together. The state of Louisiana is strong. And if we can stay together, and if we can get help, if Kane can get help from Sabine, if Mississippi can get help from Pearl, if a Chapelaya can get help from Bolafalaya, that is togetherness. That is unity. There should be no complaining whenever I stand up here and say that Sabine will send aid to a Chapelaya or that Pearl will send aid to Kane, because we are a family. We are a family in this state, and it is our responsibility to take care of family, because family is one of the most important values that this state has. And I don't care what one parish does to another parish. There will be no infighting in the state, because just like a family, one squabble can lead to a crash. And we will not have a crash in this state so long as I'm governor.
Thank you, Mr. Governor.
Parents, if you can see, we have a very qualified governor. Look, I know that was a lot to digest. I think Louisiana Boys State is going to survive Hurricane Hayden. So I'm going to get straight to it. We want to give away some awards to senior counselors and some of our staff that will join me on stage. We've had a lot of good things happen this week. Parents, guests, you got to see some of the academics that we did. We've had local governments, we've had a legislature, we've had different levels of courts, we're going to have a press corps, as you just saw. So we're going to begin with some awards. I'm going to hand it off to Senior Counselor Caleb Petros to get things rolling for us.
So we started the week out with low academics. Now I'm going to talk about some of the awards for parish government. Our most outstanding parish president, Mr. Elijah Belur. Our most outstanding parish council member, Kevin Slade. And our most outstanding parish government, if I could have the parish president from Mississippi come on up. I will now pass it over to SC Fife for some school board awards.
All right, so the most outstanding vesting member goes to Jordan Reed. The most outstanding school board superintendent goes to Anderson Kruplo. The most outstanding overall school board member goes to Cameron Bryson. And last but not least, the most outstanding overall school board goes to Sadie. Your superintendent can come up and receive the award. I will now hand it off to SC David.
My name is David Sudo, the city government. Wherever your city name is called, if I get the mayor, please come up. For most outstanding mayor's office, one would be. For this award, I get the council president to come up. Most outstanding city council, Ms. Shannon. For this last award, I'll get the mayor to come up again. Most outstanding overall city government, platinum. I'm going to pass it off now to SCPJ for legislature.
For the legislative awards, most outstanding House leadership member, Eric Joseph. Most outstanding Senate leadership member, Cameron Slade. Most outstanding representative,
I will be calling out individual names. Please come up whenever I call your name. First off, we have the most outstanding judge, and if I butcher this, I'm sorry, I'm from North Louisiana, Jackson Maju. For most outstanding attorney, we have Willie Chang. For most outstanding defender, we have Carter Doyle. Most outstanding Supreme Court Justice, Mr. Parker Ullman. And then our most outstanding appellate lawyer to be argued before the Supreme Court, Mr. Cameron Slade. I will now hand it over to SC Chief Whip for Press Awards.
The press corps is the smallest group of citizens, so it's going to be pretty quick. We select one most outstanding press member, and this year it is Mr. Josiah Meyer. And I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge leadership skills when I see it. So please give it up for our editor-in-chief, Mr. Jude LaBeouf. Jude, you should tell him to stay ready. Parents, as you may have seen, and I know you just heard, we had a few city versus city or parish versus parish challenges. The banners that were in the lobby, one stood out above them all. So the award for best city banner goes to the city of Franklin. And lastly, the parish for the best song, Kane Parish.
Now, parents, as you all saw in the brickyard, all week, these young men have been chanting. They have put their heart and soul, or some would say their spirit, into this program. So the most spirited parish, if I can get the parish president to come up, is Bogota Live. And aside from all the chanting and antics, there is one city that stood out and that we found was the most outstanding. So when I say the winner, if I can have the mayor come up to receive this award. The most outstanding city this point could be. And on top of all this, from day one to when we just ended the program, the most outstanding overall parish is Sabine.
None
now we would like to recognize the most outstanding citizen in each city and parish. Most outstanding citizen for a Chapelized parish, Luke Etier. Most outstanding citizen for the city of Caddo, Caden Ledger. Most outstanding citizen for the city of Cameron, Barrett Laban. Most outstanding citizen for Bogafalaya Parish, Willie Chang. Most outstanding citizen for the city of Catahoula, Cooper David. Most outstanding citizen for the city of Concordia, Matthew Crenshaw. Most outstanding citizen for Kane Parish, Leighton Saunier. Most outstanding citizen for the city of Feliciana, Rafael Costa. Most outstanding citizen for the city of Franklin, Raymond Liu. Most outstanding citizen for Mississippi Parish, Cameron Slade. Most outstanding citizen for the city of Lafourche, Brody Estes. And most outstanding citizen for the city of LaSalle, Quentin Boshi. Most outstanding citizen for Pearl Parish, Elijah Valerie. Most outstanding citizen for the city of Orleans, Nate Bellinger. Most outstanding citizen for the city of Ouachita, Robbie Abuja. Most outstanding citizen for Sabine Parish, Perry Joseph. Most outstanding citizen for the city of Plaquemine, Lee Dirks. And finally, the most outstanding citizen in the city of Point Capee, Ryder Clark. I will now pass it on to SCPJ for the Samsung Award.
The Samsung American Legion Scholarship was endowed by Samsung Corporation in 1996 through the American Legion to benefit their direct each boys state from across the country selects a finalist from its participants. And then those finalists move to the national level competition. Please join me in congratulating this year's Samsung American Movement Scholarship recipient, Mr. Ethan Paul Phillips.
The first Boys Nation, then called Boys Forum of National Government, convened at American University in Washington in August of 1946. 3 years later, it became the American Legion Boys Nation. 2 representatives from each of the 49 boys states come together as senators representing their respective states. Boys Nation delegates get a full week of government training, visits to federal agencies, and the opportunity to meet their elected officials. Louisiana has selected 2 delegates to attend Boys Nation and 2 alternates as well. I could have coming to the stage our second alternate, Cohen Wise. And our first alternate, if you could come to the stage, Cortland Marcotte. Now, if I could have both of our delegates, when I call your names, come to the stage. Our delegates for Boys Nation, Mr. Christopher Johnson and Barrett Lamont.
Yes, as you can imagine, we take a lot of pride in who we sent to Louisiana Boys State. This past year, Louisiana proved to the entire country that the young men who come from this exact program are truly top tier. Just like Labs, Boys Nation has esteemed positions that citizens run for. Keep in mind, these guys are competing against the literal best and brightest from across America. This afternoon, I'd like to recognize the accomplishments of last year's Boys Nation's delegates, both of whom are serving as junior counselors right now. One of them elected president pro tem, and the other elected vice president. Ladies and gentlemen, please give me a round of applause for our very own junior counselors, Raymond Broussard and Josh McCoy. For the final award of the afternoon. It's named after the longest serving Boys State director, A.R. Chopin, who served for 32 years. This award goes to the citizen who exhibits the same level of tenacity and dedication to the ideals of Boys State as the former director did. Simply put, the A.R. Chopin Outstanding Citizen Award is the most prestigious award and honor that one of you can receive at Louisiana Boys State. This year's A.R. Chopin Most Outstanding Citizen, Mr. Perry Joseph. To officially close this session of Louisiana Boys State, I'd like to call back to the stage this year's governor, Mr. Cohen Watts.
It is with great honor that I, Governor of the 2024 Louisiana Boys State, declare this session of the American Legion Boys State closed. Now, for my speech. For the first time since I've been here, I'm going to do my best to stick to my script. Now, the idea of a script is interesting because it's something that tells you what to say and what is intended to happen. Now, for me, this Boys State experience totally went against the script. I mean, we got here on Sunday not knowing anything. Not knowing what to expect, and by day 2 or 3, people were a bit skeptical about everything that we were told. I mean, we were told things like this is going to be the most fun you'll have for a long time. You'll make friends and memories that you'll love forever and never forget. And we didn't believe it. Then came the elections, when we saw families form and friends campaign for one another, helping the people who we saw as the best candidates. Now, on the same token, we also saw some families make hard decisions and deals that were for the greater good. Some people thrived in that stage, and some people didn't make it. We were told that what we put into Boys State was exactly what we were going to get out. And when push comes to shove, we all put in effort and dedication into at least one of our academics. Out of this, we got a first-hand look at the political system. Now, the political system of today is all about money and special interest groups. Deals are made that ultimately hurt the parties, our parishes, our states, and most importantly, our people, us. Politicians make false promises and make themselves the equivalent of our savior and the savior of our state or country. And let me tell you one thing. No matter how bad the situation of the country gets, we will rise to the occasion. The generations before us sometimes tell us that we're not smart enough, or maybe we're not prepared to lead this country. But we have proven quite the opposite through this program. I mean, our participation in this program might even make us more qualified to run the country than some of the people who are. So I want to close my speech by issuing a challenge to all of the Boys State citizens here. Corruption and deal making, that's the norm today. Blind politicians and leaders are the norm. Silver-tongued devils collect checks via our taxpayer money. So let's go against the grain. Today is a time for choosing, as Ronald Reagan said, and let's choose to flip the script. Let's make a new norm of honest and trustworthy leadership as we grow into the leading generation. Let us rewrite the script and learn our history so we don't fall into the same traps that got our country and state into the situations that we are in today. So I challenge you, Boys State citizens, to rewrite that script and value honesty, integrity, and please promise me to be true to yourselves and to make and to be wise in your futures. Because it makes it very hard to say this, but we are a family. And we are the future. And if we lead the future like we led Boys State today, You're gonna be okay. It is with great honor that I, Governor of the 2024 Louisiana Boys State, declare this session of the American Legion Louisiana Boys State closed.
Good. Our governor is in character. Fellas, before you leave, I want to give the opportunity one very special woman to speak. You heard her speak earlier this week. She's made a bit of history herself. Please help me welcome State Commander Angela Bowen.
Good afternoon. I'm not gonna say it again because I got in trouble for saying the H-E-L-L word last time. I'm sorry, good afternoon. That's better. I've heard you guys chanting all week. I'm like, what the heck was that? All right, I asked you to make a promise at the beginning of this. Did you hold up to it? Did you have fun? Would you recommend this program to anybody else that wants to do it? I congratulate every single one of you. Now go out, make all of your parents proud, make all of us in the American Legion proud, and do great things. Do phenomenal things. You have been given the tools. So very proud of every single one.
Congratulations on the completion of the program. At this time, counselors, please hand out certificates of completion to your citizens.